Hello guys, welcome to Totally Awesome Outdoors. I'm back at camp. It's been another week now since I've been here and it's still all intact, which is great, completely untouched. I've just basically added a few more logs up here, which I was going to do in the last camp update video but I didn't, and another 2 logs just to the wall over there. Thanks for your feedback on the last episode, some great ideas. Some of you saying about doing a fire pit, some of you saying about doing a log store, another one saying about doing another shelter so that maybe someone else could stay if I could get permission to get someone else to stay here as well. So some really good ideas. There's quite a few more as well, which is great, so thanks very much for your feedback on that. The forecast for today is shocking. I'm really lucky at the moment. I've come in, it's about 10:30 in the morning on Saturday, so on the weekend, and we've already had some light rain already, but the forecast is coming in pretty heavy at around 11:30, 12 o'clock, so I may have to resort to the waterproof camera, which isn't as good quality as the one I'm filming with, but you know, beggars can't be choosers guys, this is England after all. But I'm hoping to today, I was thinking about this and what you'd said, and today I think what I'm hoping to do, before I do a fire pit, before I do a log store, before I even build another shelter, is I kind of want to get a perimeter of how big I actually want to build this base, because I don't want it to be huge. Yes, it is kind of like a little super shelter thing, but I don't want it to be massive, you know, it's going to create loads of work for me. I want to just be able to have enough room for 2 or maybe 3 people. So I've got my A-frame shelter here. I'll probably build another shelter at some point, but today again I'm probably going to focus on building a few more walls just to get a nice perimeter of the camp, and I might even make a kind of swinging gate type wall just so I've got an entrance there. But today the focus is, you know, a bit monotonous doing walls all the time, but it's nice to know that I've got a perimeter there. A few of you have also said about what about putting a kind of a roof type thing up, just so that when I'm working, you know, I don't get wet, because I'm wearing my waterproofs at the moment, but you know, all my fire and stuff, trying to light fire. So what I'm thinking about is I've got 3 trees in a triangle, one to my right here, a big one to my left, and a smaller silver birch just behind the camera there. So I might actually put kind of a makeshift tarp system up, maybe in a few weeks, just so that I can actually work, you know, underneath when it's tipping down with rain. I can actually come out and not get all my gear soaked. For now, I'm just going to crack on and build a few more walls, but thanks for your feedback guys, and hopefully I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so plan is guys, obviously the A-frame's still looking sorry for itself, but like I said, I'm not staying in it at the moment, so there's no point me doing anything to that until I've got the actual perimeter of the setup. So for those that are new subscribers, what I've got, just a quick refresh on what I've got an A-frame shelter here, which I'll pop a link in the description, or a pop-up, just so you can click to see how to build that. I've let it go, you know, a bit, let nature take over it a bit for a while, and then I'll rebuild that a bit later on. My last build was a little log bench there, which I used with a little Barco folding saw, which took me about an hour to make, over an hour and a half to nearly 2 hours to make. I've got a wall there, another small wall here. This was my original fire reflector. Again, I can show you how to build that. I'll pop the thing up in the corner of the screen. That's my fire reflector, but my plan is now just to expand out. I usually have my fire there. I'm just going to expand out a bit really, and what I plan to do is build a wall that's similar to that one along here, and that way I can put another bench system there, and then from here all the way down to here I'm going to have a shelter, like a lean-to shelter, and then in this part here, along here, is where I'm going to have another wall, and then hopefully a little gate system there. So this will all be enclosed in the middle of it. That's the plan anyway, but forecast it's just started to rain, so we'll see how it goes. Right, the wood is collected, got the stakes ready, going to build the wall about here. I'm actually going to build it further out, not right up next to the shelter, because what I want to do is I want to angle these further out like this to make a bit more room in that A-frame, so I'll get some longer sticks to angle further out. So I'm actually going to move my wall just about here, and I'm going to build it in 3, 2, 1, ta-da! Well, as you can see, I've not quite finished it. Unfortunately, I have run out of time. Clearly I didn't cut enough logs up as well. It does take a long time chopping those logs up with just a small handsaw, but as you can see I've kind of expanded the frame of this side of the A-frame here, just so I can get a bit more room in there for storage and things like that. Over time, eventually what I'll do is I'll get a bit of tarp, and I will take these logs away, and I'll put a tarp down first coming off the A-frame, that side, and then I'll put these logs back on, and then some bracken and things on top of that, so it'll be completely watertight then. But yeah, hopefully next time I pop back I will finish the firewall, well, it's not really a firewall, that one, that's just a wall, and I will finish that one there. I'm going to make one the opposite side over here, just along here. Then I'm going to have a lean-to shelter hopefully in between those, so it'll all be enclosed and the entrance will be this way. So yeah, hopefully it's all well, it all seems to be coming along nicely. Hopefully I do hope to get back out here probably next week, if not the week after sometime, but we will see. Well, you join me here again on a Sunday afternoon. I'm back at camp. Now obviously you notice that the camera's moving. That's because my good old dad is here filming for me, just so we can get some better angles for you. Plan of action today, I've watched the last camp update video, got some really good feedback from you guys. A few of you had said about with the A-frame shelter, you know, how waterproof is it, maybe putting a tarp underneath it and then putting the deadfall on top, you know, the angled logs on top, just to get a bit more, make it a bit more waterproof really. So what I've done is I've got a really cheap tarp, and I'm going to take the A-frame to pieces, as much as it saddens me, but take it to pieces. Shouldn't take long because all the logs are there ready. Put the tarp over it, get my shape right, make some stakes out of wood. I'm not going to bring any metal stakes in, just make them out of wood, stake it down, then I can put the dead logs on top, then a bit of probably dead bracken on top of that, and it should be nice and waterproof, because we are in the winter months and you know it's England, people, it is going to rain. The other thing that I finished off on the last episode was that wall. I'm going to hopefully finish that wall off today as well. Hopefully get a little fire going as well, just for some lunch. I'm not feeling 100%, but you know guys, I've only got the Sunday to do it. We have to get out there, we have to do it. So here I am, I've stripped the old A-frame down, I've got my ridge line here, and as you can see, I've sawn off these little protruding bits really, because they will pierce through the tarp. It's only a cheap tarp, so I've just, you know, trimmed those down so it's nice and smooth. And now I can actually get a good shape with that tarp all in. I can choose the kind of shape I want. I don't want it a perfect A-frame. I want one side, this side where I'm stood, quite steep, and the other side relatively long. That way I can get maybe, you know, a couple of people will be able to sleep in it, or I can get in it and have storage as well in there as well. I think this is a 4 by 3 metre tarp, so it's fairly big. Just get a rough shape. So as I was putting that tarp up, I've actually thought of an idea of, I'm going to kind of had a raised side to it, so I'm going to put a couple of stakes in. Just a tip when you're doing stakes, if you're using deadfall, I'm going to put the spike end of the stake, I'm going to make it with the axe, just make a point here, because this side there's a knot. Okay, there's lots of kind of side branches coming off there, so that's going to be much tougher. That way when I hit that in like that, it's got much less chance of the actual wood splitting. It's also going to be more difficult to make a point on that side than it would on that side where it's nice and smooth. Just a little tip, if you're making stakes, try and make it on the side that's away from the knot. Well, I've made a bit of a change to the A-frame shelter. What I've done is I've actually made another frame to it, support frame, and this is basically just to help the runoff of the rain. Rather than have all the logs stacked one side, I wanted to kind of expand it out a bit, but make it much more secure. So this side I've made this kind of skeleton frame that's really sturdy, just tied it with some string really, but it's very sturdy. I've got a big tarp here which will then go over this and drop down here. So I've got a bit of room here. I've basically made more room inside the shelter. I can store logs in there, you know, I can store all my gear in there as well as sleep in there as well. So I'm just going to whittle a few stakes really, just nothing fancy. Do you know what, that's probably enough like that. I don't want to make it too sharp because it will snap.
Well, I've done a point there, and I've actually chosen a bit of wood that's had a few branches snapped off there, and that can just act as a locking point really, and just pinch that tarp down. So I want to pinch this first eyelet nice and tight. Basically just clear that area there, a bit of grass, a bit of moss. I want to pinch this down so that it's straight from this frame, straight like that, and it's nice soft ground. So there you go, that's pinched in quite easily there, and I'll make the rest of the stakes just like that, just wooden stakes, stick them in around the edge of the shelter, just so I've got a good frame. Keeping myself busy, and I've basically just with the axe chipped away and made a nice flat surface here so I can put my cups on it and things like that. It's not going to roll, it's very sturdy, and do you know what, it's just a bit of a pastime, but it works. And I'll go put this near the fire now. I've made a flat level area there. Let's stick that log. In fact, I'm going to turn that around because I can tell by the way it's rolling, it wants to roll that way inwards. Well, here you go, got my tray in place, my table, put my cups on there, and they all balance like that. Now I've got really organised for my cooking. I'm going to do a boil in the bag. I think I've got meatballs and pasta or something like that. Got the firebox going there, it's burning really well. I've done a bit of kindling just with a bit of wood that I've had. I've got some kindling, a little pile of kindling over here ready, just some thicker stuff. Once that's burnt down, I've got some nice hot bed of embers, then I can actually burn the bigger stuff. Great little stove that. Again, it's flat pack, so you can pack it in really flat. And it just saves, it's got an ashtray underneath, so it saves actually having to clean up, you know, after your fire. Well, here's my cook system that I've been using recently. This is the Crusader MK2 cook system. I've actually done a review of this quite recently. I'll pop a box up on your screen now and you can click that if you want a full review of this. It comes with a base as well, and I use a Trangia spirit burner in with it. But for this one today, because I've got the firebox burner, wood burning stove going, I'm just going to boil this water straight on the stove. I'm doing a boil in the bag job. I don't want to fill it right to the top because obviously I'm going to put my bag of food in there and that's going to make the water level rise. So probably just over half full. Pop that on there like that. It's a brilliant piece of kit, this firebox. It's got all sorts of, I must do a review of it at some point, but it's got all sorts of adjustments and gadgets that come with it. You can put a grill on it and everything. So that's heating. I can feel the heat from here, so that shouldn't take too long to boil. What I do have to increase the boil time is, this is the kind of pouch it comes in. That's the base with the spirit burner in it, but I don't need that today. I do have a lid, aluminium lid, which will help increase that boil time. There we go. Cooking on gas, as they say, but this time wood gas. Well, I've just eaten my food, and I've got here what I store some of my food in is just it's a oilskin, a Sami oilskin style pouch, and this is made by Tim at Blue Angelical. and he sent me one of these. It's really good, heavy duty, waterproof oilskin pouch, which is really good. And I keep actually anything in here but fruit, bits of fruit. You can store anything in them. I've actually got a smaller pouch as well. This is the small pouch it does. It comes with a little draw cord there as well. It's got nice vintage kind of brass eyelets and good rivets and things there. This is my kind of coffee and tea pouch. Keep my sugar in a waterproof. This is actually a package that you get fishing hooks in, and I've got this. I put sugar in there and just fold it up so the sugar doesn't leak anywhere. And I keep my tea bags in here as well. And I could keep these tea bags in a Ziploc bag to make sure it's completely sealed. But you can put coffee beans in there. You can make this as a tinder pouch. It's a very nice handmade pouch that Tim does here. So thanks very much for this, Tim. Really like it, and pulls it nice and tight together like that. And you can feel, when you feel the quality of these products, it's very heavy duty. It also does like a tool pouch here, which I think is really neat. Again, you can store your bushcraft bits in here, all your wood carving tools and things like that. So it's got kind of webbing there and straps, and then you can put your tools in there, tools in that side. There's about 7 or 8 slots where you can put all your tools. Or you can, put your bushcraft bits in there as well, your fire stills and things like that. And it folds up quite neatly. It's just a general neat looking package. I'll put a link in the video description if you're interested in these kind of handmade. These are made in Britain, so it's nice to get some handmade things nowadays. And I'll pop a link in the video description. I've finished up here now. That's my little table done. So we've made lots of progress today, but going to call it a day. The light's going, unfortunately, so that's it for another week. There's rain forecast in the week. Hopefully, maybe get out next weekend. If not, the week after. Thanks for watching, guys.